Hello guys, in this video I'm going to tell you how to make a badge, or at least how I make my badges. This is sort of a disclaimer because this is a promotional video. I am promoting myself. My badges are $30 plus shipping, but you can basically see the process of how that gets done. So first, draw the file that you're going to use. This is a time lapse of what I'm doing for myself. For you guys it will be different if you commission me because it's your commission, and we're going to get through all the commission steps to make sure that you like the art of the character you're getting on your badge. I also recommend doing a flat color background. That's a really personal preference whether you want your badge to be clear or have a colored line or not. I think it'll be cool. I have a white line and I'm gonna have a blue line background, and then the rest of the badge is gonna be transparent. But anyways, you're gonna want to print that bad boy out because that's what we need. That is gonna be the front face of our badge. Also, not to mention, if you are doing a background, a separate background for your badge, you are going to want to make sure that you have the right dimensions for both printed pieces. You don't want the front of your badge to be printed out and be 5x7 while the back of the badge is going to be 8x10. You're going to have to reprint it. Basically, just make sure the dimensions align and print out those bad boys. Now, this is a video of the back of the badge being printed. I am using two separate files on two separate pieces of paper. Making the back of your badge is completely up to preference and optional, but I did have fun making a background with a bunch of overlays. So I definitely recommend doing that, and I will tell you how to make the back of a badge as well. This is the time lapse of making the back of the badge. As you can see, I just took the file for Sparrow's front badge, cut out the background, I flipped it, I put on a clipping layer, put a solid color, and I just started importing overlays from Pinterest. This is actually my favorite part. I kind of just started bashing photos together. This is obviously an MCR inspired back of a badge, but I think because it's my largest fixation right now, I had so much fun doing it. Plus, I got to personalize my badge. As another note, similar to the dimensions, just make sure everything lines up. This is obviously a reused file from Sparrow's front badge, but flipped with a bunch of effects on it. But I made sure the outer shape and outline and everything matched, as well as just having a solid color as a background. I had a lot of fun just personalizing and bashing photos and overlays of MCR type stuff to the back of my badge. Not to mention, Pinterest has some cool ass overlays. Sparrow's name is on the front, so additionally I found he, him pronouns, a gothic font on Pinterest, which looks really cool and goes with the aesthetic. And all the other leftover space, I kind of just put photos of Gerard there, while making sure that the colors match the aesthetic. I hope you guys like the background as much as I did. Anyways, here's back to printing the back of the badge. I hope you guys understand what I mean when I say back of the badge. There's two separate pieces of paper and files that are going to be the front and back of the badge, and then I'm going to glue them together. Anyways, here's it coming out of the machine. I always make sure to put my hand there in case it tries to fall to the floor. I want to keep both of the faces of the badge as pristine and clean as possible, especially when dealing with wet ink that needs to dry. So here's it coming out. As you can see, it's very important that I make sure that the sizes line up. As you can see, I have both pages printed out and ready to assemble. At this point, I've been editing so long, I'm pretty sure the ink has dried already. It's time to cut and paste. So here's a closer look at both the back and the front badges. The printer can't one-to-one the quality on digital, but you know, first step to assembling the badge is cutting them. Now that both the files are printed out, you want it to actually look like a badge. This will only take one lamination sheet. I think that was obvious, but anyways. Here you can see my janky camera setup on two water bottles. I'm not a professional. I don't have any sort of equipment to record anything. Here's me starting off with the first badge like I intended to do. I also tried the time-lapse feature on my phone, but it didn't work in the way that I wanted it to, so this is just a sped-up average video. As you can see, I'm cutting big parts of the unwanted space and the excess out of it, cutting closer to what I want the outer shape to look like and leaving room for improvement. That's basically all the cutting the excess is. If the outer shape of the front badge doesn't quite yet match the outer shape of the back, don't worry. When you glue them together, you can continue to fix it up in any way you'd like, making them more accurate to each other. So it's not the end of shaping it. Here I have the back of the badge. Essentially, I'm just going to do the same thing that I am doing with the front of the badge, cutting off all the excess and then making it more accurate. I just want to mention how long this took. It's taking me so long just to speed up editing. Now that I have the front and the back of the badge cut out, paste them together and make the shape look more accurate. Make sure both of them line up and that the outer shape looks accurate to the other one, and basically they're one and the same. Like I mentioned before, at this stage, that they're pasted together, or at least together at all, You can cut around the edges to make sure that they're more accurate to each other. Here I am just gluing 2 pieces together, starting off with the back. That's all this section is, it's just gluing. Did have a little bit of a fight with it though, so before it's securely in place, make sure that it's adjusted the way you want it to be, because it will be like that forever. Now that everything's properly cut and pasted together and aligned, we can move on to lamination. This is what my badge looks like officially before laminating it. I did the best I could do with lining up everything and making sure that when I cut one side, it doesn't take a chunk out of the other. And here's me putting it in the lamination packet, making sure it's all good. And if you're making a badge that goes on a lanyard, make sure you have enough space to cut the hole in the lanyard. Otherwise, you just have a laminated character badge with no holder. But here's him being fed into the machine. And here's the after image. Wow, so stiff and sturdy. I don't know what it is, but I really like the background though. Very proud of what I made. You might be asking, hey, the badge is over. What do I have to do next? You have to cut a hole in the badge so you can hold it on your lanyard. Here's me struggling to cut a hole through the laminated piece, but you basically get what I'm trying to show here. Here's it more close up. Obviously, the table's dirty because I've been crafting. Look how beautiful the background is, though. Wow! Now it's time to clean up the mess that you have made. And now, after cleaning up, it's time to show off the badge that I made. Wow, look at that. You might be asking yourself, why am I seeing 3 sparrows on the screen? Those numbers don't add up. That's because I'm just realizing that me and Luca made badges for each other. Unintentionally. The badge on the right that I clearly didn't make, that's what Luca gave to me as a freebie when I got Sparrow's fursuit head. And then when I actually met Luca, I gave him a character badge. Oh yeah, by the way, this is actually my second character badge I made. The first one I made for Luca. I don't have that much documentation of making the badge, but here's some things, I guess. So me showing off the badge. Wow! Also, the badge I made is a 5x7 badge. The badge I made for Luca is an 8x10 inch badge. I feel like 8x10 was too big, but I don't think anyone had a problem with it. We're nearing the end of the video, but I just want to remind you that this is a promotional video. My badge commissions are open. Would love to do this for you, and if you like my work, consider following, or even liking the video. Hell, even subscribing if this ends up on YouTube. Not only badge, but average art commissions are open. I appreciate and love all the support I've been getting. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. I would love to make a badge for you. Please commission me. Okay, that's the end. Goodbye.